Hello, everyone. Welcome to For the Love of Wrestling, Episode 1 of this podcast series. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Stay tuned for more. See you soon. Hello, everyone. Welcome to For the Love of Wrestling podcast. My name is Ethan, and I am joined with Connor and Franklin today. So, basically, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over some reviews of the shows for this week, Starrcade, Drew McIntyre being injured, Broken Matt Hardy, Finn Balor, and our main topic, the rise and fall of the Nexus. So, first, episode of the podcast, we should go over what got us into wrestling. So, Connor, do you want to start?
Yeah, kind of like, sure. We're just kind of like re-going over what we did the first week, and because this is going to be kind of like a rebuilding period for us. But yeah, so I'll start. I'm probably, as I told y'all like in the first episode, I'm probably like the newest wrestling fan that will ever be on the show, but I got hooked quick. I think I originally said it was 2008, but now I'm starting to think it was 2007 because of certain stuff I've been watching older. So it's like, well, I saw that, and that was late 2007. So okay, so I'm thinking it was actually 2007 when I started watching wrestling. So I was about 16 years old, which makes me feel a little better than 16 or 17 for some reason. I don't know why that makes me feel better, but yeah, I used to make fun of it, but then a friend got me a free, he was like, hey, you can come to a Raw for free, don't have to pay nothing, we'll even pay for your food. I went and was freaking amazed. Favorite wrestler, like then and now, it will always be Chris Jericho. Because he was like one of the first guys that really like drew me in at that show.
Amen.
Amen. Yeah, I'll always love Chris Jericho. I mean, I'm gonna try to find a way to watch him in Omega.
Me too.
I got New Japan World, so
there you go.
Yeah. All right, Franklin, how did you get into wrestling?
Mine actually goes way back to a little game called Royal Rumble 2000 for the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh, wow.
That was what got me into it. The first guys I kind of recognized were The Rock. Like, everybody kind of knew who The Rock was. And Matt Hardy, I thought he looked like the Green Power Ranger. So I'm like, hey, that guy looks like a Power Ranger. Cool.
Yes!
You guys got at me. He just looks like a little bit of a heavier version of Jason David Frank.
He really does. I've never thought about that until right now. Oh, I'm done.
Yeah, Ed Kane was always pretty cool to me. So those guys got me in. I got into old WCW tapes. Sting and Lex Luger were my guys. I really liked Wrath, who I've actually been able to talk to, which was pretty cool. And yeah, from then on, I guess I just adapted to whatever era. I found Ring of Honor eventually. New Japan, got big into both.
That's cool. All right, so for me, I got into professional wrestling through my uncle. He asked me to go to a show with him in like 2006. I believe the anniversary for that's coming up. Actually, it'll be 11 years this year. And like basically, I was just one of those kids that was like, okay, this is a new experience. But then by the end of it, I just fell in love with it, and I've been watching it ever since. And like I've met different people throughout the years. I've met Jeff Hardy, like one of my inspirations. Back, like I know he's done a lot of like bad things, and I know he was probably doing them when I met him, but like he's a super chill, and I wish I can meet both Matt and Jeff in the future. So, that's my story. I'm still obviously watching wrestling. So we're gonna get into our first topic of the night, which is the reviews of Raw, SmackDown, NXT that just ended. So Connor, you said you pulled up the results for Raw or the match?
Yep.
Card?
Yes. Yeah, I basically got the network thing pulled up on my phone. So much better to do than to try to do on my computer. Let's see. Roman Reigns has been talking about, I want a challenger. Actually, I'm starting to wonder if this is even in the right order. Yeah, no, that's right.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just making sure, because sometimes they're a little out of order.
Yeah, I noticed that.
But yeah, Roman Reigns kind of was dissing on the Miz Taraj, and out comes who I saw somebody talk about the other day as the second Jesus. I'm not even kidding you. I saw it in the group.
No, the best one I saw was Majin Buu Seth Rollins absorbed.
Yep. I heard that too.
But these guys were like, they were literally comparing Elias Sampson to Jesus. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever read right now. Like, I was dying. I would say Elias Sampson really did a lot better than I expected him to.
Agreed.
Not that I'm not a fan, but sometimes people diss him for his in-ring ability. If you watch this match, my opinion, he shut you up.
Pretty much.
Just
like
saying.
he did really well. Especially going up against Roman Reigns.
You know, I go to a lot of the NXT shows, and Elias always had a little bit of a cult fan base there. You always had like the 3 or 4 guys in the corner with like the signs in the shape of guitars. But he got a lot of heat. Like, I'm pretty sure that I've seen him get the most heat out of anyone in NXT.
That's awesome.
He had a little cult following, you said?
Yeah, he had a little cult following. He had 3 or 4 guys in the corner, you know, with guitar-shaped signs.
Like disciples, if you will. Sorry,
that's great.
I had to.
That's great.
And
the 4 Saints.
And then next was Rollins and Cesaro, and so a weird little announcement. They just kind of slipped it in so slightly. They were like, "Oh yeah, Sheamus is in Ireland for his sabbatical. Cool, whatever. Dean Ambrose is on his honeymoon." I could have sworn they've been married way longer to just now have their honeymoon.
They've been married almost like a year or something like that, right?
I know. I mean, that's what I thought. I'm like, you're just now having your honeymoon? I mean, I get it. Like, they both have some crazy schedules, but probably not that conflicting that they work at the same company.
Right.
So I'm a little confused at that. I'm like, just now?
Exactly.
But whatever. I hope they had fun.
I mean, it's good. It's kind of good timing too that it's like that, I guess, because the Shield angle is kind of ending now. It's been teased. Like, after the Seth Rollins match, it's been teased that they could break up. Kind of.
Ugh. I hope not.
I hope. I really hope not either, because I want to see them go up against Sanity when they get called up.
Yes, that'd be awesome.
Or even if like they called up Authors of Pain and did something with them, that would be cool too. But that's probably not going to happen.
What about your Undisputed Era versus the Shield?
Yes,
that'd be cool too.
I was gonna say, you already know my opinion on the Shield with Authors of Pain. Still calling that for the future. And for anybody who wasn't listening, and Franklin, you weren't. I don't think I even told you about this, but I made a little possible prediction of like maybe Roman joining up with the Authors of Pain, and that being a cool little stable.
I could see that.
Yeah, like it would if Roman went heel and joined the Authors of Pain, like that I think would get him over a little bit more with the crowd.
Well, the Authors of Pain can botch that little double powerbomb thing they do, and Roman can botch a tombstone. I'm sorry, but those are two of like the worst botches I've ever seen live.
Yep.
So.
All right, what was the next?
I watch Raw on Hulu because I don't have cable right now. And the bad thing about Hulu, and it mainly affects Raw and not SmackDown as much, is they condense it and they cut out a lot of stuff. Well, here's something I didn't even see. But if you watched Raw on a regular TV like a normal human being, you saw it. But honestly, reading it sounds pretty awesome. Samoa Joe ravages Titus worldwide. I'm okay with that. Like, nothing against Titus worldwide, but Samoa Joe needs to be made to look like a badass again.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because, like, they really ruined his badassery, I guess you want to say, in the whole Brock fight at Great Balls of Fire. And then it's just kind of gone downhill from there. But they make Braun look strong, so I have faith. I have little faith.
I have faith, but it's very little.
I mean, I have no idea what's going on through like the creative team's head at this point. We have two women's stables that are completely the same, just different names. So
yeah, true.
Okay, what was the next one?
That whole Apollo thing, like with Titus Worldwide, I just feel like Apollo has everything he needs to succeed. He has a good look. He has a diverse moveset. He has the indie cred. Just get him a gimmick that isn't the King of Strong Smile over here, because he has the creepiest smile. He looks like he's about to freaking kill you when he smiles.
Oh, and for anybody in BTW listening right now, thank God, and Spike, Kevon, this is going to you. Thank God you're a heel now, because I always thought that you with Apollo Crews, no. So I'm going to call Kevon out. I'll even tag him to this when we post it. Kevon gets a shout out. That really bothers me. Okay. Thing I didn't get to see. Paige offers absolution to Sasha. Did anybody see this?
Yes. So The stable name is called Absolution. No, it is not called Team PMS. But that was like basically they beat up Mickey and Bailey before the match, and then just went in and ambushed Sasha. That was basically it, and then they left.
Oh, okay.
But they had Mandy and Sonya say like one-liners, and then like I saw like on Facebook or something, people were like, "Why'd they do that? They should just be those people that just stand there." And I'm thinking they have to cut a promo at some point, like.
Yeah, I mean,
they can't be Roman Reigns where they just stand in the background. You know, they have to say something.
I mean, if I agree. But if they are going to do that, have it be Sonya, because she can't really talk anyway. But I have faith. I think Mandy could be something later on.
Definitely.
I don't know. I'm not being like all these guys who are like, oh, she's hot. Yeah, of course she's hot. Maybe I'm not attracted to the whole like blonde thing. No offense to anybody who is, but I just think she could actually. I don't know. I see potential there.
Me too, but I also feel like they're gonna treat her like another Eva. That's the thing. I don't know why.
I don't know about the whole treating her like another diva thing. I mean, Paige's comments were
no, not diva, not diva, Eva, like EVA, Eva Marie.
Oh, I can see it. She has a lot more in-ring talent than Eva does.
That's true.
Then again, so does everybody else on the roster.
Okay. The chair that Braun Strowman threw at Roman Reigns has more in-ring talent than Eva Marie.
Yep.
Kane's glove has more in-ring talent than Eva Marie.
Okay. Well, we'll come back to this later. Let's get on to the next part of the show.
Alright.
Yeah. Let's see what else. Wyatt? What? Did anybody see the Matt Hardy Bray Wyatt thing?
Yeah. We'll talk about that later too. We're gonna talk about. Well, we'll say that I didn't want it to go that way, but I see why they did now. Like at first, I was like, "That's really disappointing."
See, that was another thing I missed.
like it was really disappointing the way it ended, but I'm really excited for the future. Like I'm gonna get into that later when we actually talk about this whole thing. But like I'm excited because it's happening. It's actually happening, and nobody's stopping it, which is great.
And I have my
something I like
in general. I want to give later too.
Oh yeah. We'll have a whole segment about Matt Hardy.
Oh yeah.
He gets his own thing.
Every show we get a segment about Matt Hardy. No, I'm just kidding.
But I will say
every show gets deleted.
Delete.
I do like the possibility of Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe for like the Intercontinental title later on. I'm supporting that.
Me too.
I think either way, a Samoan named Joe wins.
That's totally true. That's totally true.
See what else happened, and then Strowman. Actually, I just skipped over one. Asuka having a little standoff with Absolution.
Oh yeah, that happened after the. No, that happened. That happened after the first one. Asuka had a squash match.
Yeah.
Asuka had a squash match with Dana.
It was. I was like, don't do that right now.
It's way too soon. Neither party can afford to lose momentum.
No.
Exactly. But then Strowman, to end the show, Strowman just demolished Kane.
Well, King got to demolish Jason Jordan and Finn Balor first.
which we'll get back to.
Oh
Finn.
yes, that's true.
We'll get back to Finn later, but like, yeah, that was sad.
It might be
I was
Kane's new theme though. Like that theme's awesome, and they haven't released it yet.
Yeah.
He has a new theme.
Yeah, it's more like
they like remixed it with guitars. It's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna have to check this out.
Yeah, it sounds really, really dope. So that was the end of Raw.
Yep.
All right. What about SmackDown?
I got SmackDown pulled up right here. Alright, we kicked off the show with a segment with Shane McMahon, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Daniel Bryan. Shane and Bryan tease a little bit of tension. Shane's obviously a little bit salty about the whole Team SmackDown thing. Owens and Sami has been thorn in his side personally for a while. Bryan tells him, you gotta trust me. You gotta trust me to make these decisions. That's why you put me as GM. So Shane, kind of goes a little bit over Bryan's head. He announces that Sami's going to be banned from ringside for Owens versus Randy Orton tonight, and that the match will be held under no DQ rules. Shane and Bryan kind of leave discussing things. It seems to be amicable, but you can tell there's still a little bit of tension there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they should repackage Sami Zayn.
I think he's fine as a heel.
No, I'm not saying that he's fine as a heel. I'm saying that he still has like that good guy newspaper boy type of like persona is what I'm saying. So they need to repackage the character.
He's too goofy.
But that's what Vince wanted though. He wanted him to be goofy so like the crowd kind of just hates on him, And he can kind of call the crowd out for being hypocrites. Like, okay, I haven't really changed. I'm just friends with different people. And all of a sudden you're booing me. It creates an interesting angle. It creates tension. I think the character's definitely working for Sami. And it allows him to wrestle with his style. Which, we haven't seen Nakamura in a couple weeks. I'm pretty sure if Owens gets Orton, then Zayn gets Nakamura. And who doesn't want to see another Zayn versus Nakamura match?
Right. Right.
So true. As long as we don't get racist, Sami, I'm okay. I don't know if anybody's seen Larry, but
I've seen it.
I've
seen it. That was bad.
I was like,
I'm coming for you first, cracker.
That was bad. That was really bad.
That was hard to watch. I was like, can we just pretend this is Sami's like evil twin or something?
Wasn't he a part of a tag team called Two Skinny Black Dudes? I'm pretty sure he was a part of a tag team in the Indies. I think it was it's like either Quick Storm or Quiet Storm. He was a part of a tag team with someone. They were called Two Skinny Black Dudes.
I was really hoping you'd be like, and he teamed up with, oh my god, I just went on a blank on his name. No, even worse. Older. I was gonna say, Cheeseburger. Sorry, that threw me off. No, I was gonna say like he teams up with Crime Time.
Oh Jesus Christ!
JTG. I nearly said JBL, but no, I meant JTG.
That wouldn't work.
I would laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
He replaces like Shad's out of the picture, and let's have this white guy. Little blast from the past right there.
Alright, and then, what happened next on the show?
I'm
blanking.
Next, we got the New Day versus Shelton Benjamin and Chad Gable.
Oh, yeah.
Nice little tag match. I don't really get the point of the New Day getting the win here.
I was surprised by that.
Especially since Woods got the pin and he covered Shelton. Shelton's kind of the more protected guy on his team. Woods is the least protected guy on his team.
Yeah.
They're building up Shelton and Gable, and they're pushing the New Day at the same time. I don't know. It kind of seems like a conflict of interest. It's one of those too many cooks in the kitchen type of thing, when you have a big writing team. There are guys that want one thing, there are guys that want another.
I think they should split up Shelton and Gable. Just because, it's weird having, an American Alpha 2.0. It's weird.
They're the world's greatest alpha.
Well, no, I think if they give Gable a good push, he'll be great. He'll do fine on his own.
Liking him as a babyface, but now that he's showing heel tendencies, I wouldn't mind him turning on Shelton.
I mean, anything is possible. We saw Mojo turn on Zach.
But do we really want another tag team split?
In this case, probably. Because
who would even begin the tag team? I mean, we still have the Ascension, Brazongo, and the Bludgeon Brothers, so I guess we wouldn't be too bad. You could always call it the Author's Bane.
Yeah.
I could see it. I definitely see a little bit of a younger Kurt Angle with Gable. They have like that funny, kind of awkwardly goofy charisma about them.
Yeah.
The only thing Gable's really missing is that Angle intensity, though. He doesn't have the same intensity as Angle.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, what was the next part of the show?
They had a hype package for Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, and Sarah Logan. We will get more on that later. But then they had the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Hype Bros. Mojo turned on Zach after the match, which we were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of, I feel like they swerved that on us, because it seemed for a while that Zach was going to be the one to turn, but Mojo just loses his shit, so I was a little surprised by that.
Me too.
Ryder's still over as an underdog. If that Intercontinental Championship win proved anything, is that they could just put Ryder back into that underdog spot, and he's going to click again.
Yeah.
With Mojo, he wasn't clicking.
I heard that Zach was one of the people that were like the highest sellers of merch. I don't know if that's true or not.
At one point, in 2011, he was number 3 behind Punk, who was actually number 1 at that time, and Cena.
Okay.
He hasn't been a top merch seller in a while, though. But, Mojo needed it. Mojo's always had a lot of charisma. He just had a really shitty, shallow, underdeveloped character. Now, don't get me wrong, that's who Mojo is as a person. Like, I've talked to the guy. He's a very friendly, very upbeat guy. But I think channeling some of that energy that he has into a heel character, ramping up the aggressiveness, gaining a little bit more of credibility, could really do wonders for Mojo.
Yeah.
Agreed.
He starts attacking people. You ain't never hype!
Where's your hype? Where's your hype?
I could see them doing that. I could see them totally doing that. All right, what was the next part?
We had a little bit of a backstage segment with Rude and Corbin. I thought this was Rude's best babyface promo, like in WWE. I thought this was the best babyface promo I've seen. He had good timing. Obviously, he has a crowd behind him, but he had good timing.
Oh, yeah.
He went more into the content. Had a little bit more dialogue in his lines, not just the generic "I'm a babyface and I want to prove myself" crap. There was a little bit more specification there. Corbin had some nice dialogue too, and the thing is, I don't know where they're gonna go with this feud. I feel like Corbin's reign is too young to cut off that prematurely. I think he needs it to bounce back from the Money in the Bank loss.
Definitely.
But if you already had Rude lose to Ziggler. I think if he takes a loss in his first title match, then you really just undercut him, cut his legs out before he can really grow.
Yeah. The thing with, I was at the show when Corbin cashed in the Money in the Bank, and I couldn't really see that well, but I could see just enough to the point where it was like, okay, they really screwed him over with that. Because, one, if you watch it from different angles, you can see Jinder's foot is under the rope. You can see it.
Yeah.
So, like, to say, oh, we're just going to screw you out of this and be like, we're just going to disregard the rules here is dumb. Like, if you're, like, stay behind the guy if you want that guy. Like, I've wanted him to get that push for a while. And to see it, like, in person, like, just fail was, like, absolutely heart-shattering. Because, like, I wanted him to be the guy. I wanted him to be the next guy. And it didn't happen.
I think WWE did it for predictability's sake. Everybody was saying Nakamura beats Jinder, and then Corbin cashes in, and they have a feud, and it kind of undercuts Nakamura's first reign, and it's not going to be the same the second time around. I think they kind of just did it because they had some cards on the table, and they kind of wanted to reshuffle them a bit. And I think it's done good. I think he's improved a lot on the mic. The new theme is great. It really helps his presence.
God, it does.
Yeah.
I think he's really improved on the mic. I like what he's doing with the U.S. title more so than what he was doing with the Money in the Bank. But
Yeah.
since we're talking about Jinder, the next segment was Jinder attacking AJ Styles with the Singh brothers. AJ came out for their match, and I just like to say the Jinder experiment isn't freaking working. It's just not. And don't get me wrong, the guy's a hard worker. He seems like a nice guy. I just don't think he has anything as a professional. Like in terms of presentation, there's nothing about him that stands out.
No.
Sure, he's got a good look, but in the mic, his voice comes and goes. I've seen him make multiple botches at key moments. I mean, I'm talking about as soon as he won the number one contendership, but as soon as he won the title, I can recall specific botches on the mic that he made that just made me just face palm. His voice comes and goes a lot. He seems to overact. His moveset's just really mediocre in the ring.
Yeah.
He's not over in India, and a lot of it's because how they sell him in India. The Indian commentary team tries to sell him as a babyface when he's clearly a heel. At least that's what I've gotten from conversing with a few Indian fans. He's just not working. Separate him from the things, maybe try to face run down the line. That's more to his actual personality because he seems like a pretty decent guy. Or just have him go into the U.S. title picture. Whatever he's doing right now isn't working. There's a reason why the India tour only sold 40% of the overall tickets. And when you're hitting less than the halfway point, that's really bad.
That's really, like, good that you mentioned that, because I didn't even know that, like, they were trying to build him up as a babyface in India.
It's the commentary team really selling him like that. In the crowd, basically, he's more overpushed than Roman Reigns is. And this is a country where, like, they like overpush guys. Like, Roman Reigns is really popular in India.
Right.
The Great Khali, really popular in India. Huge.
Right.
Jinder Mahal isn't working. And there's a reason why he's not working. First of all, he's not even really Indian. And I'm sure that offends a lot of Indians who, like, let's be honest, Indians are stereotyped in today's world.
Right. I mean, Jinder's Canadian. Jinder's Canadian. He's from Canada.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, no, he is. His uncle, he does come from an Indian wrestling family, though. His uncle's the Great Gama. And he does have a cousin who's the Great Gama's son who also wrestles. So he does come from a lineage. He's been wrestling since he was 16. But for a guy who's been wrestling since he was 16, his moveset's not really all it's cracked up to be. I just feel like, good, keep the entrance. The entrance works. He has a great theme. It fits him nicely. The whole magic carpet sticking out, Titantron on the floor ramp thing works. Keep that. Repackage him a bit. Tweak his character. There's not much you have to do to it. Just tweak it up a bit because it's clear it's just not there.
It's really not. Like,
he's not selling any merch. He's not even in the top 10 merch sellers in India. Nakamura's merch, Styles merch.
When I went to the show,
shop reports,
when I went to the show, he had. It sounded like he had more heat than Roman, and I've heard both reactions in person, and everybody was like, the whole arena was booing Jinder. Like if Roman comes out, yes, you hear some cheers and you hear some boos, but like this was bad. Like,
well, he's a heel, so it's not bad that they boo.
I mean, like
I
it was more than Roman.
That means he's doing his job.
I mean, it's more than Roman, is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but we're supposed to boo him.
Yeah.
I guess that's true.
I'm just saying he's not getting over where he needs to be. And I mean, the Indian market is growing, so there's no reason why WWE should sell 40% of their tickets from what I read.
Here's another...
New Japan got a TV deal over there. TNA just did a multiple-day show over there and drew great.
But
when you're getting outdone by TNA...
Here's the thing, though.
There might be a little bit of a problem.
Here's the thing, though, is that... Because I have an Indian friend that lives upstairs in my dorm. And he's actually from India. The problem is that the people of India do not, like a lot of people of India do not have the money to spend on these shows. Because if they're like, say, $40 a piece, not a lot of people can buy those tickets. So that's why it's not selling out the way they want to, is because people can't afford it. And I also heard that like TNA or whatever they're called now was paying the Indian people to come to their show. So that they're like, there's not really a point of going to, it's a nice idea, but like nobody can afford it over there. There's a small amount of people that can afford it.
New Japan's planning on doing some shows over there though, and they just got a new TV deal there with they're a subsidiary of Discovery. And Discovery is a big network. I mean, we all know Discovery here in America.
Mm-hmm.
For them to get an American-sponsored deal with an Indian network while being a Japanese company is still a pretty big deal. Like, the iron is hot over there. It's just a matter of, I don't think Jinder's the right guy to strike it. I look at Jeet Rama in developmental. That boy is over. I go to the tapings, they're chanting for him before the show starts, they're chanting for him in between matches, they're chanting for him right before Bobby Roode's freaking entrance. This Jeet Rama kid, I think he's the guy to sell as a babyface. I think he has natural babyface potential. Jinder, I don't see it. I didn't see it with the Sings either. Jinder still has potential, though, just not in the way they're trying to build.
Yeah, I understand. All right, what's the next?
Next we had Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Sarah Logan versus Natalya, Naomi, and Charlotte Flair. Right before that, they did have a little bit of a segment. All three women got to talk. Ruby Riott revealed her new name with the 2 T's, and they named the group the Riott Squad. I'd like to go over all three women's little bits. I thought Ruby did good.
She did.
I thought Liv was cringy. And I thought, like, the gimmick they gave Sarah Logan, like, this chick used to be Crazy Mary. She's naturally over, and you just give her this southern chick gimmick, and she has a really thick accent. And it didn't work for me. It completely killed, like, she was the one I was most excited for. And it just completely killed my hype for it.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing that bothered me about this is, okay, talking about the Raw side, we've seen Paige on both sides. Sonya Deville's always been a heel. Mandy Rose has that natural heelness about her.
Yeah.
Sarah Logan, she could be whatever the hell she wants, really. Ruby Riott's also somebody I think could go either way. But Liv Morgan as a heel is weird.
Yeah.
No, I saw them trying it out. They were doing like some weird makeup thing with her, and they were trying to bill her as a heel for a little bit. So they've kind of been working on
like
her.
I know, but for me, it's just not working. I'm like, man, you're such a face. Like,
I mean, it
just
doesn't
see
look
her
like gorgeous.
Mandy Rose is pretty, but still.
Liv, I get what you mean. Liv was always.
She has a little girl cuteness about her. So
Yeah.
There's a difference between the NXT crowd and the main roster crowd, though. And I will say
It's
this,
very different.
a big
Yeah.
part of the reason Ruby was over, or Liv, sorry, a big part of the reason that Liv was over is there is a high concentration of Puerto Ricans in Orlando. A lot of them have backgrounds to where they've lived in New Jersey and everything, and the whole Jersey thing got over because of the familiarity with it. That's not.
Well, I mean, I liked her. Right. I mean, I liked her as a face. Nothing against her, but just her as a heel just seems weird to me. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people had a problem with it.
She doesn't have the heel look is the thing, I think.
She doesn't.
I don't think Sarah Logan's, as they're billing her right now, I think she would have been better as a face.
I feel like Sarah Logan is
I agree.
I think Sarah Logan is just another Becky. Honestly, she looks like Becky with brunette hair. To me,
I think Becky's more of a steampunk, while Logan's more of the LARP, Eskimo type of vibe. They both definitely have their place. I think all three of these women would have been better as a face, though. Ruby was already an over baby face. Logan was already over with the live crowd. Liv was already over with the live crowd. Make them face. Make Absolution heel. You want to do the Women's Rumble? Fine. Tease a face off at the Rumble. Have all 6 women in the ring at the same time.
Yeah, I didn't like that they basically looked exactly like the Raw people. Or not looked, but you know what I mean. Like,
they have the same.
their thing was exactly the same.
Yeah.
You needed someone for them to feud against. You could have brought back the Welcoming Committee. You could have had Natalia team up with Tamina, Lana, and all those again.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, have them. I agree. They should have came in as a face.
All right. Again,
I think doing 2 of the same angles really makes the SmackDown one look weaker.
It did.
Yeah.
Especially when you have an established name like Paige in the other.
Yeah.
Right.
Because she's already a veteran, and then you have all these newcomers. So if they wanted, I feel like they should have replaced Paige with somebody else. I mean, it's good that Sonya and Mandy have a leader, but it just made the other one feel weird. You know, because it felt like they should.
Who would you have replaced her with, though?
That's probably Billy Kay.
See, funny you say that.
You can't.
I would actually
without Peyton.
Exactly. See, that's what I was gonna say. I would actually take out the other 2 and have Paige and Peyton and Billy.
Yeah. Okay. That makes more sense, actually.
I mean, their looks may not be the exact same, but I feel like they could have made it work.
They could have.
Because I mean, with these two stables, you have your goth girl as your leader, you have your tough girl, which is Sarah Logan and Daria, and then you have your blonde.
Yeah.
Right.
Basically.
Honestly, I feel they tried too hard with Paige's makeup. I'm like, are we trying to make her look like a slut, or?
Yeah. That was, yeah.
You don't have to try to make her look like one. She kind of already is one.
I mean, she was licking people's faces before she left last year, so.
They really
weren't very
tried to bump up the sexuality with her.
All right. We'll get back to this later because we have more of a show.
I'd just like to make one more comment, if you guys don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
Maybe Woods asked Paige to bring some friends with her so Big E and Kofi can have some fun too.
Hey!
That's
Kofi's
great.
like, damn it, y'all came on the wrong show.
All right. What was the next part of the show?
Man, Kevin. Oh my god! I nearly and said Kevin Orton. Kevin Owens and Randy Orton ended the show.
Okay.
And then,
I didn't get that far. I didn't get that far in the show.
well,
So.
Did you guys cover the Fashion File segment yet?
Oh no, I forgot about that. Actually, I never saw it. It was cut out.
Oh, that's weird.
I'd actually just like to say this is the first wrestling segment that my mom ever enjoyed. I was helping her out with her reports for her job, and I had SmackDown on, and she actually enjoyed a wrestling segment for the first time in her life.
It's not even on the.
That speaks a lot about the comedic
It's not
timing
even
of
on
the Ascension.
Yeah.
And they kind of
don't even have the segment.
It's going to end soon. They hinted at the fact it's going to end soon because they actually had a dead horse, and I remember, I think it was Connor. He said, "So just beat this dead horse already, so we can get this over with." So yeah, it was a pretty fun segment. I enjoyed it. Fashion Files is always great. I think Brazango needs to run with the tag titles.
Yeah, they do.
They do.
They really do.
Do y'all remember a while back when I'm trying to remember if it was the Usos or the New Day that was champions that Breezango came? I think it was the Usos. And for a good while there, not only was the crowd behind Breezango, but I thought they were going to win.
Yeah, me too. I remember that. I legitimately thought that they were going to go over.
I don't remember what pay-per-view it was, but it was when Breeze was like grandma and had the mop out there. Or it might have been a broom. I don't really remember. I was like, oh my god, Breezango's actually going to win. They're actually going to win.
He threw the dress in JBL's face.
Yes. And I was like, holy crap, and it looks like Tyler Breeze is going to be the winner. Like, he's going to get a fucking win finally.
I would like for them to be the one to beat the Usos. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would love it.
I would too. And I think I almost broke my controller that day. I was like, damn it!
Alright,
so
next
our main event was no DQ match with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens.
Right.
Or Kevin Orton.
Kevin Orton. with an extra N and with two extra N's at the beginning of his first name, at the end of his first name and his last name. Kind of like we were doing in the group yesterday.
Yes.
I thought it was
but, it was. But, every time WWE bans somebody from ringside, that never fucking holds through.
Like, I didn't see the match yet, but I was so confused. They're like, okay, there's no disqualification. Sammy's banned from ringside. Why would you make it no disqualification? that means Sammy can run in.
But I'm going to try to not spoil it too much, but I'll say that Sammy did it in the greatest, funniest, sneakiest way possible. He technically didn't come to ringside.
Did his music play or something?
I think they're gonna say something about that next week. He's like, well, I swear next week he's gonna be like, well, I didn't come to ringside.
He would say something like that, and I think that kind of built up the smarmy heel character. I was just expecting more out of the finish, though. Like, I knew something was gonna go wrong. I didn't expect the match to end cleanly. I was just expecting more, I was thinking either Shane gets involved, Brian and Shane have some sort of argument. Maybe Nakamura comes out to set up for that rumored tag match with Orton and Nakamura versus Zayn and Owens. I was just expecting
wondering if that's
more.
going to be an actual tag thing. I was too, and the end was
supposed to be. That's supposed to be.
It wasn't horrible. It was weird.
It was just a little bit anticlimactic.
It was. Owens ended it weird. I'm trying to say as little as I can, but
I mean, I don't necessarily care, but talk about whatever you want.
He didn't win it with a pop-up powerbomb. That's all I'll say.
He won it
okay.
with a frog splash.
Yeah, he won it with his frog splash, and it was just weird. I was like, okay then. Like, I thought he was going to do the frog splash and then do the pop-up, but
maybe
then it just kind of ended, and I'm like,
3 or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
Like I'm gonna kind of go down a different path here, but like the same thing. I think Kevin Owens has done great this year. Like, he's done very well in the ring, on the mic. He did well as Universal Champion. I like, as we were saying, like I think last week we were talking about it. His run should have went longer. It should have went till at least past WrestleMania, I think, or to WrestleMania.
Yeah. I mean, you kind of have to cut it off at WrestleMania. WrestleMania is usually like your big season finale in a sense.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Right.
I think he's my superstar of the year, really.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Because, I mean, either that or Roman. I'm sad to say that, but either him... Braun would be breakout.
Braun will definitely get a nomination.
Braun would get... I think he would get breakout of Star of the Year.
I wouldn't say Roman, because Roman's had... If you look back, Roman's had more big losses than he's had big wins. Sure, he beat Taker, but didn't he lose right afterwards to Braun twice? And then he lost at the 4-way. He lost against Owens in the Universal Championship match. He's had more losses than wins this year, at least when it comes to like big, high-profile feuds.
True.
Yeah.
And then the only other one I could really think of is Joe.
Yeah, he's lost to Joe a lot.
He's lost a lot, but he's also really stepped it up, and he did win that big 5-way. He beat Rollins, I think, once.
He did. I remember that.
So it really just depends on. I think Owens, Styles, and Braun are your big three. I think Braun ultimately wins though. Just and probably want to put that superstar of the year award in a Raw guy. He is a baby also.
I would put Braun in the category of breakout star of the year, just because like he's not really. He's kind of a top guy, but he's not there yet.
If he's challenging for the belt with today's climate, I think he is the top guy.
To me, he just doesn't feel like one of the like. He's in the middle for me. He's like in the middle of like top guy and like kind of like over. Like he has two. He's more than kind of over. He's over. I understand that.
He is extremely over.
He has two big wins over Reigns. Like,
yeah.
Not even Cena has that. I would put him near the top guys. And with today's climate, like the way they've booked Brock as invincible, like other than maybe Styles and Cena, are there really any real top guys?
Well, there's Roman. There's Seth. There's Dean.
But then again, Roman's had more big losses, and he had two big losses to Braun.
But
true.
Also,
like Roman,
he lost at the 4-way. He was the guy that took the pin. Sure, he's established, but if we count Roman as a top guy, then we have to count. And he's also like the mid card champion now. But if we're counting Roman as a top guy, we definitely have to count Braun.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. All right,
you guys want to move on to NXT?
Yeah, let's get that done quickly, because we have a lot of other stuff to talk about.
All right, so we opened up with a video with the usual video package. Street Profits beat. I think they're called the Money Team now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it's Tino, Sabatelli, and Riddick Moss.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's a pop-up spine buster and flag splash combination.
Which I'm digging their team, honestly.
Me too.
I dig the street prop. I think Montez Ford is going to be huge. I think if they do split up eventually, Montez is going to have lots of potential as a top guy.
Yeah.
Maybe the first full black WWE champion. Maybe.
Interesting.
I thought it was going to be Apollo. He's clearly missing a gimmick that isn't smile at the camera.
Yeah. It's sad too.
I am digging the Street Profits. I love them as a team, and I'm glad Angelo was always over with the local crowd, but he struggled to get over like on some of the live shows. I'm glad he finally found something to get him over. The whole Stir thing was always pretty over there. They aired a video package of Trent Seven and Tyler Bate confronting Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne and Mark Andrews versus Mustache Mountain is booked for the main event. Lars Sullivan gets a hype video. I'm a big fan of Lars. Big fan of what he does on the mic. Big fan of how he's picking up things in the ring.
You know, Lars, I wasn't a fan of Lars until TakeOver. This past TakeOver. I didn't understand the hype behind him. It seemed to me kind of just like another strong guy like Braun or Brock or Ryback or somebody like that.
Brock's protege.
Yeah, pretty much. Like if when Brock leaves, like Lars will be that guy that takes his place.
Have you seen his vertical leap? He has a vertical leap that's an inch higher than Roman's. I don't know if that's still the case because he does have the knee brace, so I did think he got hurt. But I think before the injury, he was really athletic. Hopefully he can show us that, he does have that top rope diving headbutt. So clearly he wants to do more flying stuff. I think him versus Braun is going to be a money match in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely, when he gets called up.
And they train together. There's pictures of those two training together with Finn Balor.
Nice.
So they should have good chemistry. We had Kairi Sane and Peyton Royce. Kairi won with the insane elbow. Good little match. I love Kairi. I think she's great. I love the whole Pirate Princess gimmick. She has a great theme.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's going to do great in America because she knows how to be with Kana. She kind of had a more out there gimmick. Kana being Asuka. My bad. I guess my little Japanese knowledge decided to kick in there.
Asuka, come on.
Asuka was more of a shooter, stiff type. Kairi is more of an entertainer. She knows what it's like to be the face of a company.
Right, because she was big in Japan, so.
Yeah. I think Kairi is going to be a big babyface in NXT. I think they shouldn't push her towards the title so quick. I think we should kind of build her up. Maybe have her take one or two big losses if the crowd gets behind her. I think Peyton's really good. I think she's improved a lot, and I think she's going to be a big heel. I just think the fact that her and Billy are a tag team, even though I'm a big fan of Billy as well, I think the fact they're a team kind of prevents either of them from really sticking out as single stars.
Yeah.
Right. All right, what's next?
We followed that up with a flashback over Ruby Riot's win over Sonya Deville. They will end their NXT careers in a no DQ match next week, which means we're probably getting a little bit of the Riot Squad versus Absolution.
Interesting.
Maybe they use NXT to kind of build that up for the Women's Rumble, the Rumble being the next big pay-per-view coming up. Andrade came out. He had a little video package dedicated to him. Drew McIntyre's injury is announced. And we're going to have an NXT Championship celebration from Almas next week. And then our main event is Mustache Mountain versus Dunn and Andrews. Mustache Mountains picks up the win. 8 pins Dunn with a Tyler Driver 97. I would have rather had Trent Seven pick up the pin here. I think Trent Seven versus Pete Dunne is the fresher match. I I'm not personally a big fan of Tyler Bate. I've always thought he was one of the less interesting talents from that group.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a
UK
good
Jack Gallagher.
Jack Gallagher's way more entertaining than Tyler Bate is. I'm being honest. Gallagher has way more of a personality. I've seen both guys live. Trust me. I've seen them face off against each other live. Man, after the match, and Pete Dunne lays him out with a bitter end. So they're kind of still building Pete Dunne as a heel, more of an anti-hero, I guess. But
I like Pete Dunne. I like his style.
he's definitely unique. I wish they would have done the whole evolution thing with Owens, Triple H, Dunne, and Joe, but
Yeah, me too. But
Owens wasn't even on SmackDown, though. I understand.
yeah, like
And that recaps NXT. I thought it was a good show, a little bit filler, but they had some high-profile matches to kind of cover that up.
honestly, it was more
They
filler.
did.
It was more filler last week than it was this week, from what you're saying. So that wraps up the reviews. So I'm gonna kind of skip ahead a little bit here. Since we're talking about NXT, Drew McIntyre's injury, putting him out for at least how many months? 9 months, right?
6 months, I think it is. It's 6
It
months.
was like 6 to 8 months.
Honestly, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like it was common sense to not hold on to the rope at TakeOver when Andrade did that move on him. I mean, it was a good match, but then it was like, okay, that, like, you are, like, you're a professional. I understand professionals screw up, but, like, I don't think I'd be that person to hold on to the rope when I'm being slammed on my head. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
The momentum is going to create a dangerous spot. Well, could it also be the size difference? Maybe it wasn't calculated right. I mean, Andrade is not a small guy. I think he's right around the 6 foot mark.
Yeah.
But Drew's 6'5".
yeah,
He's quite a bit heavier.
yeah.
Maybe the size difference played in a factor. Maybe they didn't calculate it right.
Well,
I enjoyed the match. It was my personal favorite match of the night. I'm a big Andrade fan.
I was not expecting the ending, honestly. I was expecting
wasn't either.
Drew to go over. I heard
That was shock of the night.
I heard that wasn't that the plan the whole time? Was that Andrade was supposed to go over? Okay.
Yeah, Andrade was supposed to go over the whole time.
Okay. But yeah, still, like, we have Jeff out for an injury on Raw. And then we have Drew out now on NXT. Do you guys think that if he does, like when he comes back, do you think that he'll either stay on NXT or go to the main roster?
I think he pulls the Hideo and works a couple more NXT pay-per-views before eventually getting called up.
That's what I was thinking too, because I think he's still, like, he's not green, but he's still not ready yet. Like, his character's not ready yet. And I think if they try and push him to the main roster after he's healed, then it's just going to be completely weird, and he's not going to have, like, that, oh, I made it back to the top here type of, like, story, if you know what I'm saying.
Is it confirmed that the final top rope spots were, or the final rope spots were what actually injured Drew, or is that just speculation? Because
It
I'll be
was.
honest,
I think it was the end. It was the end of the match, wasn't it, Connor?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the end of the match.
I mean, I've seen Drew work stiff a couple times. Like, as soon as he came back, I was there for his return to WWE.
Mm-hmm.
He works pretty stiff. And Andrade, one of his first matches back was against Andrade. Andrade works stiff back. So, two guys, as professional as they are, and I'm sure they have no beef with each other. These are two really professional. Just their tendency to work that style, Drew being European, Andrade having spent that time in Japan, being a former IWGP Intercontinental Champion, working that style in WWE with the schedule, the wear and tear on their bodies, and the difference in the ring, obviously, especially an NXT ring.
Yeah.
Because I've worked setting up the rings. They're a little bit smaller. They're set up a little bit differently. Maybe that's not the smartest thing to do,
Right.
Maybe slow down a little. Obviously, TakeOver, one of the biggest shows of the year. You only get 4 of them a year right now. Go all out for that. But maybe slow down at your house show matches, some of your TV taping matches. If you're working a high-profile match, if you're facing another big name, sure. But if you're just doing a squash to get your character over, slow it down a bit. Showcase versatility. Don't focus so much on hitting hard. You don't have to go full throttle in every single match.
Yeah, that's true.
Because, these guys are in their 20s. But they've been wrestling for a while. I think both of them have at least 10 years experience. And they're both young. We're looking at 15 more years for their career.
Yeah.
That really a pace you want to be working at for that long?
Yeah, they'll absolutely destroy their bodies if they keep doing fast pace now.
Yeah. Pick and choose your battles.
Right. So let's go on to the next topic we have here. It was Nia Jax posted a tweet. I think it was a few days ago. That she said that she was a victim of body shaming in the locker room. And honestly, it should, I understand she's a big woman for herself. What are your guys' thoughts on this situation?
I heard about this whole body shaming thing.
And do you think the company kind of has something to do with this too? Because you see guys that are really muscular, super jacked, and then you have guys like James Ellsworth who don't have a lot of muscle, but they tend to push the people that are the big and muscular type of people,
Yeah.
So it's these small...
I don't think it's as much of the locker room as it is the guys, some of the officials.
Yeah.
I will say this. There are some guys who I had spoken to before they broke into WWE that had some criticisms, whether that was their true opinion or not, or they were, saying something to draw a reaction. I'm not sure. They definitely mellowed out when they stepped into the company. I don't think this problem was with Nia and NXT. I think it is main roster. And I don't know if you guys recall, a while back, I'd say about a month or so ago, there was I think it was Yelp, and somebody released this review on WWE. And they claimed to be a former employee saying that the company discriminated and that if you weren't a certain race or you weren't or you didn't look how they wanted, that the company wouldn't always push you or treat you the same as everybody else. It was rumored. There is no confirmation or clue to this, but it was rumored that was made by Austin Aries. Whether this is true or not, I cannot confirm or deny. But apparently this is something that's been going on for a while. This is something, obviously, we've heard cases of this back in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. It seems to have slowed down.
the company seemed to have become a little bit more progressive towards guys who didn't have that ideal good old boy or good girl next door look.
Right.
But clearly that's not the case. I think it is some of the older officials. I'm not going to point any fingers. But, guys tend to have a tradition, especially when you're in the business for so long.
Right.
And if you don't fit their mold, they're going to tend to discriminate. It's just how the world is. Naya, obviously, she's dealt with some stuff. I don't think it's as bad as it could have been, given the fact of who she's related to, and given the fact I think she has the closest blood relation out of any cousin The Rock has currently working in the WWE.
Right.
I think so too. Yeah.
I think if it's another heavy chick, Jessica Havoc per se, I think they get it a lot worse.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not something I condone. It's just something you have to be prepared for in this business, unfortunately. We live in a shallow world, and you have to adapt.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Naya is somewhat good in the ring, a little bit. You can't deny that. But,
I'm personally not a fan of her ring work. I will say that.
I mean, I'm not either, but, I mean, at least, I hate how people, say that, these people are not good in the ring. But, the only exception to that, I'm not trying to say. I hate when people say that people are not good in the ring if they're trying. If they're trying, then that's fine. Try your hardest. But if it's somebody like Eva Marie, where she was just bad, and she just, wanted to be in for fame, then I have a problem with that.
She didn't really care.
No, she didn't. You could see that. You could see that from Total Divas, too, is that she didn't really care.
I mean, we don't know that. She did train with Kendrick. We don't know what she was like backstage. I will say that.
That's true. But yeah, body shaming is definitely, especially with, more males than females, but it shouldn't be a thing. Everybody in the company should be treated equally. And
they should.
And Chad Gable. He doesn't have the look, right? But it has been said that he could be the next AJ Styles because of his in-ring work.
Interesting.
So, and they're not going to give him the platform to, break out because of the way he looks. And then you have guys that are jobbers, like Kurt, who have, almost a 200-day losing streak, because they don't have the look, or they did something like Kurt.
Kurt has the look though. He's 6. I'm pretty sure he's over 6 feet. I'm pretty sure he's 6'4". Let me check. He's 6'1". He's 6'1". He's not a small guy. He's charismatic. He's good in the ring. I really don't get why they don't do more with him.
Yeah.
23.
Yeah, that's true. But
I don't know why.
Also, the situation for Kurt, the situation of him being 2 hours late, was killed his push as well. So.
Oh, he arrived late to a show?
Yeah, he was when he just returned. He went to a show 2 hours late, and they were I guess it gave him a little bit of heat. So backstage, so they killed his push.
I hadn't heard anything about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never heard that either, but wow, I mean, if that's
the case, that's different.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's how it happened, but Yeah, the whole idea of body shaming in wrestling, it shouldn't be a thing because these people are way more talented than just the way they look. So, they really should focus more on in-ring work than the way people look. Like Mandy, like if you look at Mandy Rose, she's great in the ring, but let's be honest, the only reason why she was called up was because of her look.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah, it's clear.
So like, it's just like you said, it's something we have to deal with, but it shouldn't be happening.
That doesn't make
I
it right.
would recommend her to be smarter about it, though. Instead of saying, there are guys or girls or people in general in the company who are body shaming me, just say, I know I've been body shamed. I've been body shamed in the past. I'm not going to say when. I'm not going to say where. I'm just going to try and bring a positive image. Maybe lobby for a face turn and make that part of her character. Because I don't think the monster gimmick works for her. I don't think she has the voice for it.
No.
Her voice comes across as very normal, kind of crappy-ish. So I think, she needs a tweak.
She really
She's another
does.
person that needs a tweak in character. I think a face turn would work for her. And I think it would allow her to showcase who she really is more. And maybe get her over. Maybe get her over that hurdle to the next level. Because they clearly wanted to push her when she debuted. They clearly wanted to push her. It's just she didn't really connect all that great with the crowd.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, I'm not laughing at anything you said. I just got I was looking up some stuff about Kurt Hawkins and trying to find that. I'm sorry to interrupt. Trying to find that when he arrived late or whatever. Something I did find. Apparently in 2K18, the game made it where you can't win with Kurt Hawkins.
What?
I'm gonna have to try that later. That's funny.
I know. I feel like when I get my controller back, I want to try to win a match with Kurt Hawkins to test this theory. Because this could be somebody trying to mess with people, but...
Because I feel like you can, but... Yeah.
But here's the title of the article. WWE 2K18 allows gamer to play, but not win, as Kurt Hawkins.
Are you sure? What website is this from? This is probably satirical.
Oh, okay. Okay, you know what? We can just pretend I didn't say anything, because now that I see what site it is, it's totally a joke. But
Oh, is it kayfabe news?
I still feel I should have shared it because it was still like a funny little thing, and yeah, it was kayfabe news. I did not see that when I was reading it. I'm like, this is the funniest shit ever. But yeah, I just posted it in the group for y'all to look at. It's still funny, even if it's fake. It's still funny.
That's hilarious.
Oh goodness!
It's so realistic. You think you're actually controlling an episode of Raw.
See, like, the article's hilarious. Like, I really want to try this now. And I'm not going to do it against somebody crazy. Like, I'm not going to have Kurt Hawkins beat Roman Reigns, but...
Right. Alright,
maybe I'll throw him in the ring with, like, Sin Cara.
we're going to go on to the next topic now. I'm going to flip-flop a little bit. I'm going to let you guys talk about Finn Balor. Alright, I'll be right back. But, if you talk about anything you want with that situation. Alright?
Alright, you want to start us off, or you want me to?
I mean, either way, basically just, what the hell's been going on? Like,
I don't know. I think the guy's over. If you listen to Survivor Series, there were two people like I based the crowd reactions off. Did they have chance as they were coming out? Did they have chance for them after the entrances had died down? Were their pairings hyped? And the two guys who checked off all boxes were Nakamura and Finn Balor. Finn Balor only had a pop for, I believe, 2 dream matches because they only had 2 set up during those little early interactions. Nakamura had 3. But Balor was definitely one of the most over guys in that match. He just came off a great match with Styles. You have the Demon character, which is undefeated. Why? Like, I understand. Keep regular Finn Balor.
Where the hell has the Demon character been?
He comes and goes, and I get that. You know, you save the Demon for special occasions. You keep him undefeated. You have this mystique and aura. Regular Finn can lose matches, and then he still has something. You know, kind of like. I mean, you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, right? Kind of like a Super Saiyan.
Right.
You know, he has his regular form he can lose matches in, and then he goes into this Demon form, and he's unbeatable. That's a cool thing to have because it's something you can fall back on.
True.
I think Finn plays a good safety net for the WWE, and he constantly sells merch. He has the indie cred. He's over with the casual. He's over with the hardcore fans. He's a former Armani model, so you know he's going to have a large female audience.
Oh yeah, my wife only watches to drool over him.
So I think you're not the biggest Finn Balor fan.
No, I like Finn Balor, but I'm like, honey, can we wipe your mouth off, please? Like, I love Finn Balor. I mean, it doesn't bother me that she always is like, oh, he's so hot, but I don't really care.
Nice guy. I've heard stories of him like making videos for like a fan's newborn baby and everything. Like,
yeah,
he's clearly a great guy. Like, there's nothing wrong with Finn. Is he a little bit undersized? Maybe. But, I mean, if you look at the guy's physique, he's still ripped. He's still ripped.
Yeah.
It's not like he hasn't been working on it. Like, if you look at his arms now and his arms before he came back from injury, there's clearly been a little bit of a size growth there. Like, it's not like the guy doesn't work hard. Just keep on pushing him. He's useful. If the guy's over, if he works, push him. If he doesn't work,
exactly,
do something else with him. Take him, put him in the mid card. I don't know. But Finn is one of those guys that clearly works. They don't have that big of a main event scene on Raw. Well, they don't have a big main event scene on either of the shows now, I think. But I think Raw has a lot less established talents, like with Owens, AJ, and Orton. You at least have a nice little established scene there. Nakamura's over by default. Rude and Nakamura also have all that NXT invincibility hype, so I think Raw has to work a little bit more to build that main event scene. So I don't see why Finn can't be a part of it.
Right.
I really don't.
I would have been fine with Finn Balor being the one to take the IC title off of The Miz.
Me too.
Yeah. 2K.
I would have been happy with
that idea for me.
Do what?
I've had like 3 Finn Balor and Miz title matches. Miz wins every single one of them. Yeah, but I would have been fine with Balor winning the IC title. I mean, he already won the Universal. I would have been fine with Balor being the one to beat Lesnar. Because let's be honest, Brock dominated Roman through that WrestleMania 31 match. He beat him. No, Roman won the Fastlane triple threat, but then Brock won the 4-way, and Roman was the one pinned. So there's not really Roman challenging. Just seems like a struggle story rather than 2 invincible forces clashing. With the Demon character, you can still, feed Finn to a guy if you need to put some guy over, and you can just turn on the Demon character, and he's all of a sudden more of a threat. I think the Demon versus Lesnar is a better match than Roman versus Lesnar. I think Braun versus Lesnar is a better match than Roman versus Lesnar. That's not big on Roman. I think Roman's improved tremendously. I think he's definitely a main event star, and I'm fine with him being the face of the company. It's just, I don't think that's the angle we should go for wrestling.
Right.
So like obviously, I don't know. Did you guys see the poll that was on WWE Network or WWE.com?
I saw it.
Yeah, Finn got most of the votes. He got 61% of the votes. Like, is that not over? Is that just like, oh, Vince is gonna do what he wants now because he's the big guy and he makes all the decisions as he like ties his tie in the morning? Like, do you think like that poll will change anything?
Hopefully it does. And I mean, with Finn and Lesnar, there's this whole story of both guys came up to the main roster and they won belts really quick. They both got mega pushed. There's a story there. There's a story of invincibility there with both guys. Why are you not capitalizing on it if you already set it up?
Exactly.
It's a waste.
It really is a waste. And I really think that Finn's injury at SummerSlam last year really kind of ended that whole invincibility thing that you're talking about. And it just seems like, oh, Finn's that normal guy that just came back from injury, and then they never did anything with it besides that one 5-man match that was before Great Balls of Fire. Was it at Extreme Rules, if I'm correct?
Yeah, but I mean, the Demon's still undefeated, so you still have the Demon card you can use.
That's true. That's very true. But they also could be like, oh, Finn isn't over, we'll just have the Demon lose at Royal Rumble if that's the way that Vince wants to go. And it sucks because I like Finn Balor. I like his in-ring ability. I like his Demon character. However, I understand where people come from when they say like Finn Balor is like boring. I can understand that because like he doesn't have a character besides the Demon, and we don't get that all the time. So I understand the other side of where Vince is coming from in that sense, but Finn Balor is completely over in my book.
He's still over. Like, the crowd still cheers for him. He's selling merch. I don't understand where his D-push is coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't either.
It's the same thing that happened to Zach, where he was on this hype train, not taking it literally, and he like got depushed because of Kane. And this is the same exact storyline, is that they're not behind the guy anymore, so they're gonna send in Kane, and then Kane is gonna be the guy that puts Finn Balor in his place. So, it's honestly, this shouldn't be a thing, because Finn Balor is completely popular. He's popular in Japan, he's popular in the United States, he's popular all over the world. There's no denying that. Like you said, he sells merch. He sells merch. That should be your number one goal, is to sell tickets, to sell merch, and then to sell out. Yeah, to sell tickets and merch. Those should be their two priorities besides the stories. You know? And like you say, give Finn Balor the IC title. Because that seems right now like the only way that like he's gonna get somewhat of his pushback. And it seems like it's really just not working out for in Vince's part, I guess. But it's dumb. It really is. Alright, so we're somebody that is completely over the next topic, and the whole controversy with Matt Hardy and the broken gimmick in WWE. I found an article like 2 hours ago. Let me pull it up here because I wanted to keep this a surprise. Because like, I told Connor I was like, I really want to keep this a surprise for the podcast, and then someone posted it, and I was like, shit. You know, like I wanted it to be a surprise.
Like literally, like maybe like 20, 30 minutes before like right around 7:00.
Yeah, the guy actually messaged me and he was like, do you want to like set up something so that way like we're not saying the same stuff. I'm like, it's fine. That was the only time I was gonna do like a surprise thing, so it's fine. But so this is
Yeah, I had to post it on there so he didn't like get too upset. I was like, it's okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I told him. Like, it's fine. And then I gave him the link to the podcast, and I was like, or the channel, and I was like, you know, you can watch tomorrow when this comes out. And he's like, okay, I'll check it out. So everything was fine. But let me read the.
It was Steven, right?
I think so. I'm not sure. I'll look at it later. But
whoever it is, when you listen to this, it's totally okay.
yeah, it's completely fine. So the article says Anthem released the following statement to Sports Illustrated regarding WWE using a broken Matt Hardy style gimmick. Then this is what they said. They said, we have seen the character develop and will be interested to see where they take the concept. Our new talent agreement all in corporate language that will allow talent to continue to use their Impact persona after they leave the company. We are working with our legal team to amend our existing agreements to extend this to all our current and former talent. So my first thought about this was all of this was happening before because of Jeff Jarrett. Jeff Jarrett was the one that wasn't letting this happen before.
Rabbi took shots at Nordholm.
Yeah, but I just find it weird that now they're letting him use it, and it's weird just because they're like, oh yeah, now you can have it, when before they were like, oh, we don't want you to have it. You know?
Well, they're in the middle of a relocation to Canada.
Which I heard that they were going to end up coming back anyway. But, it was, yeah. Anyway, like, on Monday night, after the Bray Wyatt-Matt Hardy match, we saw Matt Hardy sitting in the corner, like, screaming, delete, 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 for a good minute. So, what are you guys' thoughts on this whole thing?
I'm excited for this.
I am too.
Very excited for this. I love Broken Matt. I love Matt Hardy in general. I think the guy just knows how to get himself over. I mean, what other wrestler have you heard of that? I mean, in 2005, he got a petition to get his job back because he had so many fans. Something that not even Jeff got when he left.
Right.
And as Broken Matt, he got 15,000 freaking votes for president.
That's awesome. I didn't even hear about that. That's awesome.
Yeah, he got. I think the first number reported was 6,000, and then after they counted everything, it went up to like 15. He got a whole bunch of votes for president, though.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
I would vote for Broken Matt. Way better president than Trump.
I would too. I honestly would too. Like, I'm a really big fan of Broken Matt, and when they went to the WWE, I was like, okay, they're gonna completely ruin this, and it's just gonna become a joke because they're not behind Matt. They've never been behind Matt, and so now that this is happening, like, are they gonna push him? Like, I don't understand how this is going to work.
I think they're going to do a big angle with him and Wyatt. I just think the way they brought Wyatt back was weird. Oh, hey, he's going to become Sister Abigail. It's the same thing as with the face turn. And I know a lot of it comes down to injury and timing and everything. But with the face turn, he was getting over. They were going with this angle. He comes back. It's like nothing ever happened. Then with the Sister Abigail thing, he's trying something new. He has this new transformation. He comes back. It's like nothing ever happened. That's why Bray's character can't get anywhere, because you keep on forgetting about his angles.
Yeah.
Right. What are your thoughts on this, Connor?
I completely agree. I didn't see a lot of. I wasn't watching a lot of TNA when the Matt Hardy thing was around, but I saw so many people talking about it. So I was like, I gotta find out what all this hype is. So I YouTubed it, and I was like, damn, I'm really into it, but I'm still I still haven't seen all of it, but I'm excited for it. It's gonna be a new for me, honestly.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen a few stuff here and there, but I'm excited.
See, me, I have my Connor, I think you know this. I have my own Twitter that's dedicated to the broken persona, kind of.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's how much I love this.
No, I'm not making fun of you for that. I just gotta pause. So, I got a story here, and I don't know if I've ever even told you this. So, I finally broke down and made myself a Twitter, started following some wrestlers, and then I see a Matt Hardy Twitter. I'm like, all right, I'm following Matt freaking Hardy. Months later, I found out it's fucking Ethan.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I mean, at least someone thought someone literally private messaged me on that account and was like, "Are you Jeff Hardy?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." Does it say anywhere on this account that I'm Jeff Hardy? It was weird.
So for the longest fucking time, I thought you were the Matt Hardy.
I mean, I fucking wish. I wish, but that's not happening.
I was like, yeah, I got fucking Matt Hardy.
But yeah, I have a lot of fun tweeting out of that account. It brightens my day sometimes. I've gotten a lot of shit on that account just because people think I'm trolling them, and I'm telling you what has been told to me countless times, and you're telling me that I'm trolling. Okay, have fun. So I don't let it bother me, but it's fun to run. It's a fun thing to do. I've been noticed by Rebby a couple times on that account too. So, and I've got I had an older account, but I think I've gotten more attention on this account than I have the other one. So,
what did she say?
It was that weird time where Matt filed for the broken gimmick and they turned it down because there wasn't enough paperwork. So, I asked her what was up with that, and she said that they didn't have enough paperwork. They didn't have enough paperwork or something like that for them to file it. So,
oh my god, I remember when you did that.
Yeah.
That made me really think you were Matt Hardy. I was like, well, that's proof right there. I'm talking to Matt Hardy. Or I'm following Matt Hardy.
Yeah, no, you're disappointed, my friend.
What if you had gotten a message from me saying, oh my god, I'm following the real Matt Hardy?
I would have fucking went with it, too. just to fuck with you. I would have sincerely...
I was gonna say, he also has a meme page for people, so I totally believe he would.
Oh, did I tell you guys about the time I broke up with a girl using only broken Matt Hardy memes.
That's great.
And then I taught my little sister how to do it.
That's great.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
No, the best one. The best one was, and guess what? I faked that orgasm. I knew you'd come.
Oh my god. Yeah, like I like when he was like posting stuff on Twitter the other day, like literally I used that "it's over" like GIF in the comments. I was like, he's gonna like tease us for a couple weeks, and then it's over. And then like I got a bunch of likes for that one, but yeah, I'm excited for this. I really think that it's gonna shape like the WWE version of Matt Hardy, and then we might eventually get Brother Nero too in the future, so that'll be exciting to see as well.
I can just imagine Matt Hardy teaming up with Finn Balor. McMahon, he's over.
That's funny. So the next thing we can talk about like we can get into this like just really quickly because there's not a lot on it, but the Bullet Club trying to sell out a 10,000 person show for ROH.
I'm sure they can do it. I'm not a fan of the Bullet Club.
I mean, I'm a fan of them. I'm a fan of them, but like because this is all happening because Dave Meltzer was like, oh, they can't sell out this like 10,000 people show, and they're like, we're gonna prove you wrong. We're gonna do all this stuff by ourselves. We'll fund it by ourselves. And it's like, okay. I mean, I'm sure they can do it. Will they? Possibly. I mean, it's hard to tell now. But when it comes time, I'll sure we'll know. But yeah, because Bullet Club is super over.
Just say what my problem with the Bullet Club right now is.
Okay.
Okay, first off, Meltzer dick rides every single one of them because he's friends with the Young Bucks. That's just a start. Some of their matches are overrated as fuck. And then when it comes to Cody, Tama Tonga, and the Young Bucks, they can't go a single fucking promo without cursing their heads off or shooting. They come off as fucking edgelords and tryhards. And I know the Young Bucks have a history of this. I mean, their whole gimmick is 3MD5U, too sweet, LOL, Meltzer insider reference, hipsters. But with Cody and Tama, I see more potential with them.
Right.
That promo Tama did at the G1, I just sat there and facepalmed. The whole thing was a quasi-shoot curse fest, and it was terrible. Cody, every time I see him cut a promo, he either has to say fuck or he has to talk about WWE.
Right. It seems like
that's not a character.
It seems like all of these former wrestlers are just from WWE are just shooting on them, and it's like, okay, we get it.
They're the Edgelord Club now. They're no longer the Bullet Club. They're the Edgelord Club.
I mean,
because that's what it's been lately.
You also get people like Patron, who freaking just bashes WWE all the time. And it's like, okay.
Nobody takes that guy seriously.
We can stop now.
What I see with the Bullet Club, though, is that they have thousands of little indie marks hanging on to their every word when, in reality, they have no real character. I mean, Omega does.
Omega,
definitely. Jiro does. Wale does. But Tama and his brother kind of just tags along. His brother doesn't really do much. He's not a big of an offender of this. But Tama, the Young Bucks, and Cody just stop. Hangman can be a little bit too much at times, too. But I think he has a little bit more of a character.
Right. Right.
I understand it's the cool thing to do in the indies now, but it's not going to last you forever.
It's
WWE
really not.
hate's going to die down. Raw's been improving. SmackDown's looking to improve again now that Styles is champion, and we finally got Jinder's Reign of Terror over. And NXT is always hot. People like WWE for a reason.
Right.
All these indie guys are going to WWE for a reason.
Yeah, to get over.
And it's more than just the money, because it's been proven you can make quite a bit of money on the indies these days.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
you have people like Ellsworth asking for like 15 grand. Am I right? Or
No, that was
1500?
Ryback that was asking
50
for that much.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like Ryback's asking for like 15 grand. I don't know. Ellsworth was like 1,500, something like that.
Yeah. Matt got like 3,500 per booking when he was in the Indies, and that was before he signed with TNA. And then TNA gave him a sweet deal, which is why he stuck around for so long. Like, he had a very nice deal with TNA.
Yeah.
You can make money on the Indies. It's not a problem anymore. Is it top guy WWE money? No. Hell, New Japan per average, like if you look at the average mid-card talent in New Japan, and you look at the average mid-card talent in WWE, I believe New Japan does pay slightly higher. Like, there's more guys in the 1 million mark that are lesser established than there are in WWE. In the WWE, to make it to the 1 million mark, you have to be either a long-term veteran like your Miz's, your Kanes, your Big Shows, or you have to be like a master star like your Ambrose, Rollins, Reigns, Cena, etc.
Right. Okay, so now let's get on to our last chunk of this. Our main topic, the rise and fall of the Nexus. Like, I feel like this could have been done way better.
Yes.
And because it kind of just ended abruptly. Like, when these guys came in, they were supposed to be the next big thing, and that didn't exactly happen, and it just died. Like, when CM Punk took over, it was like, okay, we have this guy that's been here for years, and then we just kick everybody out, and then it just dies.
And the core wasn't much to talk about.
And then I actually forgot about the core. That's how like, I feel like this could have been done so much better. Like, I actually forgot that the core was a thing.
So there are two big things that were botched. One was the whole feud with Cena.
Yes.
But, I mean, even Cena admits that nowadays. The other thing is they didn't take advantage of the fact they had NXT airing on the same network as SmackDown back then. You could have had these guys raid NXT, go to these other NXT guys and be like, you're uncertain about your future? With us, you don't have to be. You don't have to worry about whether you're going to make it in the main roster or not. Join us. And they recruit a whole bunch of NXT guys. They take over NXT. There it becomes a new GM of NXT. NXT is their show. They're sending guys to invade to the other show. Like, this could have been the hottest angle in WWE.
It could have been. I totally agree with that.
It didn't work that way because they just decided to pull the trigger on some other things. And I get it. They had Miz rising at the time. They really wanted to work with that, even though they ended up cutting that short too.
They did.
But you don't necessarily have to put the WWE. You have two world titles for a freaking reason.
Right.
You want to put the WWE title on Miz? Fine. Have Barrett invade the other show. Like, make NXT their show. Make NXT about them, the rookies. If they have a rookie, let's say Cabal, who was in NXT at the time. I think he won the second season. He won the second season. Cabal decides, I don't want to be a part of the Nexus. I want to go against the grain. I want to try and make it on my own. He has that warrior character. They're like, fine, we're just going to fuck you up every week. Barrett puts him against 2 or 3 guys. You know?
Right.
Like, there could have been so much potential with this. You could have established the NXT Championship there. Or you could have had Mason Ryan come in as Barrett's heavy. He's the FCW World Heavyweight Champion. Have that title defended there. Get your developmental more exposure. You could have gone so many routes with this.
Yeah, like...
But it's that fear of pulling the trigger.
Or what were you going to say, Connor?
I was a fan of Mason Ryan.
I was too.
I'm still a fan of the guy. He's a really nice guy in person.
I believe it. I totally believe that. I'm like, he had the look as we were talking about earlier. I'm just confused why they didn't push him more. The way like he had.
Hell, I even like the guy that nobody remembers. I even like Michael Tarver.
Yeah, I thought Tarver had potential. With Mason Ryan, a big part of the reason is he didn't really understand why they had called him up. He didn't feel ready personally. And Mason Ryan, he wasn't a great in-ring talent at the time, but he did have a good insight for this business, and he had been doing it for quite some time. He had traveled to the different shows around Europe. He'd worked the world, so he understood how the business works. He understood how to draw a crowd. He was getting over as a babyface, too, when they turned him. And then they just cut that push off, because they did the Mexico tour. He was one of the most over guys on the Mexico tour. I remember that. I remember all those people chanting for him, like freaking over Alberto and everything, and over Sin Cara, who he made the save for. And
That's
then all
crazy.
of a sudden, after Survivor Series, they have Cody pin him, and he stops appearing. That was the last appearance. You put a guy on a pay-per-view, and then you didn't book him anymore.
That's crazy.
Why?
That makes no sense.
What? I don't understand. And then they try to repackage him, and every time they would try to repackage him, they would tease it for a few weeks, and then they would take it off TV.
Interesting.
I just don't understand why they didn't do more with the guy. And the guy, he was getting over in NXT because he had that feud with Enzo and Cass.
Right.
And then he had a really good performance in the Battle Royal that I remember everyone was talking about at the time.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then they just cut him after that. They had him lose to, I think, Tyson Kidd, and they cut him. Because that was when Tyson Kidd was getting his push towards the NXT title. It's another one of those fail to pull the trigger situations, and I think that's WWE's biggest problem. It was their problem with the Summer of Punk. It was their problem with the Nexus. It was their problem with Bryan.
Yeah.
They don't pull the trigger on things. They're scared.
They really are scared.
I understand they're a publicly traded company, but it's not like these ideas are anti-PG. They just take a little bit of stepping out of your comfort zone.
Exactly, and I think that because Vince is running things around here, he doesn't want to ruin the reputation of certain people. In this day and age, you see Roman, and everyone's saying, "Oh, he needs to go heel." Well, he's not gonna do that because then that's gonna kind of ruin the reputation a little bit, I guess.
But that worked for Rock.
It did work for Rock.
And I knew Roman was going to be the guy since I first saw him. I remember Elimination Chamber 2012. Right after, I think, Justin Gabriel's match, right before the main event, they do this video package for Cena and Rock. And I see this deep-voiced, big Samoan, and I'm like, that's going to be the guy. Vince is going to want to make that guy the guy. He has a look, he's strong, he's big, he's Samoan, he has a good voice.
Right.
That's going to be the guy Vince is going to want to push. And I was fine with that. I had accepted. The guy hadn't even won the tag title with Tyler Breeze yet. This is how early he was into his career. And you could just tell the guy had megastar potential.
Right.
But there's been so many heels that have made you care about them as a heel first, and then become the big baby face, that I don't understand why Vince doesn't understand that this is a formula that works.
Because everything is his way. That's why. Everything goes his way, and if it's not his way, then it's wrong. That's the way the cookie crumbles.
But it used to be his way. It was his way with Savage. Savage was a heel, and then he turned babyface, and he was one of the biggest faces of the company. Austin was a heel. Rock was a heel. Triple H was a heel. Brock was a heel. Angle was a heel.
That's true.
Cena was a heel. Batista was a heel. Orton was a heel. You have a proven formula with your guys. And some of these guys were your handpicked guys. Because Batista was a handpicked guy. Orton was a handpicked guy. Cena was a handpicked guy. Rock was a handpicked guy.
Yeah.
Why aren't you using it?
Switching things up, I'm not really sure about that. Anyway, let's get back on topic a little bit with the Nexus thing. So, do you guys think that like them giving the stable over to Punk was the downfall of the beginning of the downfall of all of this, or do you think it was like after that?
I think it was the fact they got no push after that. I think it was the Orton feud, where Orton ripped them off one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I agree with that.
Because they were doing the whole initiation angle, and that could have been great. Like this whole punk rock cult initiation angle could have worked. They were doing it with a straight edge society, and that got over. If they're going to try and do a more intense version of that with the Nexus, why the hell not? I could see where they were going with that. Punk was getting over huge at the time. Remember the My Diet Soda line?
Yeah.
Yeah, Punk was prominent at the time. It was just a matter of, once again, they were scared to pull the trigger. So they went with Orton. And then they ended up going with Punk anyways, and Punk was too hot to be associated with Tonga and McGillicuddy at the time. They repackaged Mason, and that was that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like I said, this could have been way better. Like, I really think that they should have ran with Barrett, like, longer than they did. Because they could have at least, like, tried to make themselves back to what they were when they debuted. Because they kind of lost...
Barrett's a guy they massively dropped the ball on.
Yeah. Definitely. What was I gonna say? Like I said, they should have just had Barrett do the entire angle. Don't even create whatever core crap that they did after that, because that was just stupid. Like,
that was an attempt of getting Ezekiel Jackson over,
which didn't happen really. I mean, to me, he wasn't over.
Well, he was kind of over, and then they fed him to David Otunga, like, on SmackDown a few months later. So I'm just like...
So, like, with... Oh, this is what I was going to say before. So now in this day and age, barely any of the Nexus people are there anymore. Wade Barrett is now running his own company. The other people went back to the Indies, never to be seen again. You have someone like Bray Wyatt. You have Bray Wyatt that is being poorly handled with his character. And then you have Heath Slater, who never got this push, ever. Besides maybe for, like, the tag titles, but that's it. Like, he never had, like, a solid, like, run with anything.
When you realize Heath Slater's the most decorated tag champion on the roster right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
Seriously, if you look at the different records with all the current tag titles, Heath Slater holds the most records.
That's crazy. I never even thought about that, actually.
More than Kofi?
I'm talking about individual records. So he was the first. First SmackDown champion. He has the most tag reigns as a team with Justin Gabriel for the Raw tag titles, because those used to be like the regular WWE tag titles. He has a few records with the actual championships.
See, you said records. I think I heard like he had the most titles. I was just like, really?
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So that was my fault. I misheard you.
Okay, so tying in with this, obviously earlier we were talking about like these women's stables coming in to the main roster, like, and they're creating kind of like a newer women's version of like the Nexus almost, as you guys were kind of saying earlier. Like before we started the podcast.
They were going to make Absolution one big stable.
Yeah. Which I heard that they were still going to do that, which was weird. Because I heard a rumor that Paige was behind all of the attacks that happened. I don't know if you heard that. Did you hear that too, or was I the only one that heard that?
Yeah, I did hear that, but I think they were gonna pull the trigger on it this weekend. They decided not to pull the trigger on it.
Oh, just like everything else. So yeah. So kind of drifting away from the main topic. Women's Royal Rumble. Do you think they can pull it off?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think 20 women, maybe not 30, but 20.
Because with the new additions, there's I think like 19. They said.
And they can just have like an NXT surprise.
Yeah, I also heard that that Ronda Rousey is gonna be in that match too.
And then she's gonna win it.
Yeah, and then she's gonna face Charlotte, and then yeah. Honestly, no.
I think I literally heard your eyes roll.
Yeah, you did. Like I think no. No. You know why? Because it's the Batista angle all over again, kind of. Except it's a new face. You know? Because Batista came back and he won the Rumble. And then, like, he didn't get his chance to be, like, the champion. Because fans were, like, pissed off that Daniel Bryan didn't win. So they went with...
God, they lost their shit.
Yeah. They really did.
I don't think they were gonna plan on putting the title on her unless she stuck around long term. I think they're just gonna have her versus Charlotte. Probably have Charlotte go over, or have like a dirty finish.
Yeah, I could see that happening too. But honestly, like I don't think Rousey is the one to do it. You know, like she shouldn't. She has no business in a WWE ring, in my standpoint.
Just you can imagine her versus Asuka though.
That would be pretty decent, I think.
I mean, I could see them being the final two in the Rumble.
Yeah, I could see that too. Just like them having a standoff or whatever at the end.
Yeah, and I mean, Asuka was trained by Suzuki, who has like a huge MMA background, one of the founding fathers of Japanese MMA. So, I mean, they would definitely play up to Ronda's style a little bit more.
Yeah, I think so too. And then, well, would you have? I don't know. Would you have Asuka take the L in that though? That's the thing.
Hell no, I wouldn't have Asuka take the L.
That's why no. I'm confused on why
Ronda took some. Ronda's already taken some losses. Asuka hasn't taken any losses.
So you think that Asuka should win the Rumble?
Yeah, I think Asuka should win the Rumble. I think Asuka should definitely be the one to.
I think so too. Honestly, just because like why build her up just to bring her down in an elimination match? You know, it's like. Yeah. There's no point in it.
Yeah, and I'm guessing that's why they brought up Sonya Deville, because she has a background in MMA.
Right.
I think Sonya's gonna be a huge star. I think. I mean, she's the first openly lesbian women's wrestler, I believe.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Sorry. Damn, I didn't have any idea about that.
She has a tough girl character. You know, she's not a stereotype or anything. I think they will definitely. Right. She'll definitely have a lot of breakout potential, a lot of media potential with the WWE.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think she needs to work on her like mic skills a little bit, but that's really it.
Yeah.
So my kind of like the last kind of thing before we go to Connor's like game thing. My last question is, should they add more women's stipulation matches? Like, should there be like a woman's elimination chamber? Should there be
Yes.
yeah?
No, I think at this point you're just overdoing it for the sake of pushing this women's revolution. I think it needs to come. It needs to come naturally.
It needs to come now. What do you mean?
Money in the Bank this year was kind of a flop because of how they handled it.
Yeah, that was a joke. I'm sorry, but that was a joke.
I'm fine with the Rumble. I'm fine with the Survivor Series match. I was fine with the Hell in a Cell because the feud made sense. Wait on the Elimination Chamber. Wait a year. Have a blood feud, you know?
Right.
Right now is not the right time. I think if they did Absolution versus Riot Squad and they did that like an Elimination Chamber 3-on-3, I could buy that because that striking while the iron's hot.
Right.
But as far as for an actual title match, I don't think there's enough women in the roster who are built for that kind of storyline. Like, do you imagine Alexa in an Elimination Chamber? Mandy Rose I can kind of see because of the way she's being booked.
Right.
Carmella. There, like, I can see Natalia, but I can't really see Bayley there. Especially when they couldn't even have Bayley use a kendo stick properly. Now you're going to see her in an Elimination Chamber?
That's true. Because Bayley, like, was scared to pull the trigger when she had the kendo stick match with Alexa Bliss, which was the stupidest match of the year, I think. But
yeah, that was fucking terrible.
All right, so
It really was.
It was so bad. So now we're gonna move on to the last thing, which is what Connor was talking about. It's called Around the Ring. Or do you want to explain that?
We actually forgot a topic.
We did.
And yeah, I got it pulled up though. So
Oh, Starcade.
We forgot to talk about Starcade.
I know. I kind of skipped that one on purpose because we're over 2 hours now.
Well, okay, we can talk about Starcade next week.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, I was gonna do a fun little thing called Around the Ring. Basically, it's like ESPN's Around the Horn. It's basically our way of doing a little debate off, which, in a way, we've been kind of doing all night. So I'm gonna have to make a last-minute swerve because y'all kind of already did a lot of the topics I was gonna say anyway. But I'm still going to use a few of the ones that we talked about. So, basically, one person, and I talked to Ethan about whether we should talk about, like, who was going to do what. And I'm kind of glad we didn't, since we had to do a last-minute cast change, but
right.
It also kind of keeps it, like exciting.
Yeah.
Like, if I had given you a stance, it would kind of been unfair for Franklin, who just was like, who got like an hour notice. Hey, you want to be on the show? Thanks for joining, by the way. Like, I know we're not over, but
no problem.
I never actually thanked you. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with like Raw. So one person's gonna say why they thought it was good. One person's gonna say why they thought it was bad, and I'll just basically judge your reasons. I'm gonna try to be fair for who I think would have the better. I'm gonna try to not do NXT since most of us didn't catch it, and I feel like if I would just pretty much just stick Franklin with the good, and then everyone else would be like, Okay. Let's go. Okay, so Raw. Ethan, why was it good? Franklin, why was it bad? Or maybe not bad, but why you didn't think it was the problems you had with it.
So why I thought it was good?
Sorry, I didn't even. Yeah, Ethan, you go first. I was gonna say I never said who was gonna go first.
Okay, so I thought it was good just because of we got broken Matt Hardy, essentially, and then we had a really good match between Roman and Elias, which I thought was going to be completely squashed, like a completely squashed match. And then that really was the only good thing about the show to me, honestly. The rest of it was just kind of boring.
Do you want to switch it?
No, I mean,
You know what? We just won't worry about it this time because I forgot to do the main thing I was supposed to do anyway. Yeah, Franklin, go ahead and talk about why it's bad. God.
You want me to talk about why it's bad? Or why it's good?
Or why... Just go ahead and do why it was bad. Or what you didn't like about it.
I would say that some of the execution was really lackluster. You look at the whole Kane thing. Did you really need him to squash two people before you had Braun come out? Like, I understand the Jordan thing, but was Balor really necessary? What does Balor have against Kane other than the fact that Kane beat him in a match, fair and square? That kind of makes him seem like a dick and ruins the presentation of his babyface character. I thought the Absolution attack could have been handled better. Obviously, the promo segment wasn't well received. I didn't think the Wyatt promo was really necessary before the Matt Hardy match, especially since they went to commercial as soon as the match started. You could have just used that time to have the opening stretch of the match. And then the broken mat reveal would have been a little bit less obvious. You know, when you have this whole entire promo and then you have the match, it kind of makes it obvious that there's going to be something after, you know? You could have surprised people a little bit more with that. The Samoa Joe versus Titus O'Neil wasn't really necessary, especially when, once again, you could have surprised people by having Joe appear later on in the show, and it would have made a bit more sense than Joe already had a match. Why didn't he just say something then? The Elias thing was fine. I thought that was one of the highlights of the show. The Rollins and Cesaro match was great, but it could have received a little bit more focus. I didn't really understand why Rollins came out without his Shield gear. And then the Cruiserweight thing just seemed a little bit dumb to me, how they're going along with crowning a number one contender. I like the concept of the Fatal 4-Ways. It keeps the division competitive. But then why are you having one now and one next week? Why not put one of those on 205 Live and give people a reason to tune into 205 Live? What are you doing with 205 Live meanwhile?
Exactly. So I forgot the main point of this was actually time y'all. So I kind of botched the first round, but that's okay. Yeah, you made a lot of good points. Okay, now we're gonna switch it. Franklin talk about good SmackDown. Ethan will talk about bad. I'll give y'all.
Well, I only watched like the first half, so I'm only doing the first half.
Okay, then I'll just cut the time short. I'll give y'all 30 seconds.
Jesus.
All right, who's going first?
Franklin, go.
I like the Bryan and Shane segment. It's really setting up for a Bryan return. Orton versus Owens was a first-time matchup that was fresh, which gave us a reason to tune into the main event. The women's match was great. The hardcore spots really separated it from the Raw incarnation and built more hype. And the Mojo turn was unexpected, and it gave them something to do, even with a loss.
Stop.
Damn.
That was it. I feel like he's done this before.
No, I'm just really good at debating.
And you're good under pressure, apparently. He's like,
I've been doing live promos for how long?
That's true.
That's true.
But you usually don't have a 30-second time limit.
Alright, Alright, Ethan.
Okay.
Show me what you got.
Oh God. Okay.
Ethan, bad. Go.
Okay, so I wasn't really a fan of like the tag team matches because I'm not really behind like the Gable stable anyway. I feel like they could have done without on the women's match. They could have done without Natalia leaving or Natalia being in that match in the first place. I feel like they could have put more people or someone else in that spot. I think that it wasn't necessary for like Rude to like the Rude segment. Is it done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was saying, I think I gave you like an extra second just because you started slow, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay. That sounded so mean. Because you started slow.
I mean, I'm a slow person, so you know.
Don't make me feel bad.
I mean,
Okay,
I'm not like
no,
that,
see.
but.
Oh, I know. Okay, let's see what else. I'm not saying I'm slow, but... Okay, I know the perfect thing because both of y'all are gonna like have plenty of material, and because of that, I'm gonna extend it each of y'all to a minute. Let's see. Ethan, talk about why Broken Matt Hardy is gonna be good for WWE. Franklin,
Yes, okay.
tell me how. Hold on. Don't get too excited. Franklin, tell me how WWE is going to screw it up. Ethan, go first this time. Go.
Okay, so I really think that like it'll bring like a fresh feel to Matt Hardy, considering that we've been getting the same thing for like the past like 6 months. I mean, it's not his fault, but like it'll really, I think, bring in ratings. It'll bring in ticket sales. He'll probably end up being the most top selling merchandise person in WWE behind Roman Reigns. I think that also bringing the addition of Brother Nero would definitely, because Jeff is obviously more over than Matt, but bringing the addition of Brother Nero with Broken Matt would definitely spike up ticket sales. It'll spike up ratings. People will want to pay attention to the like wrestling part of the tag team division again. Like they'll become more relevant in the WWE, and that's like what I think. Okay.
I like how you ended. That's what I think.
Yeah, I mean that's what I think.
Alright. Okay.
Let me know when I can start.
Go.
Alright, I think the overproduction of the WWE and its values, with TNA you had a smaller production value, which allowed the self-sponsored events to stand out more. With this, you will have no self-sponsored events, and you'll also have no supporting cast. There's no Senior Benjamin, there's no Vanguard 1, there's no King Maxwell, there's no Rebby, and for the time being, there's no Brother Nero. You really can't make him the focus of the show because you got the titles locked up already with your respective plans, which really limits what you can do with the Broken Matt Hardy character and how you can expose him. And he's feuding with a very in-the-middle, very transitioning Bray Wyatt, which means he's not really going to get a lot of momentum from this. I don't think this was the right time to do it. I think he should have waited till Jeff came back, or at least till there's a brand switch and he can move on to SmackDown where the titles aren't as locked up. Ultimately, I think the gimmick will have some success, but not the success it could have had. To me, it's just not the right time. The cast isn't there. The booking isn't there.
Okay. I actually cut off like a second early. I don't know why I keep doing that to you.
I mean, he got all of his main points.
Yeah. I feel like in another life, Franklin could have been like a rapper. He's like, okay,
I'm gonna run for president.
but we can still understand him.
So you're gonna run for president now?
We can still understand him. Okay. I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna make this really short because I'm gonna give y'all multiple people. I guess I'll just stick with 30 because I feel like if I go under that, it's just like you're trying to recreate Eminem's Rap God. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna go to a minute just because I'm gonna put it all together. So we're not okay. 1 minute, not 10 minutes. Jesus. So we're not like here all night. 5 people that you are gonna predict to return. Y'all are basically gonna do the same thing. Just try not to use the same people. Actually, just don't use the same people. Okay.
Predict to return to WWE
for the Rumble.
All right.
Well, it can be just for the Rumble, or it can be an actual return, or a debut. I mean, you know, just surprises for the Rumble. There we go.
Oh, okay. Rumble like surprises.
Franklin will go first. Go.
My first would be the Hurricane. I think that interactions with Broken Matt would be gold, and since he's someone actually from Broken Matt's supporting cast, he would stick out. My second, I'll go ahead with the sleeper pick. Jushin Thunder Liger's on the end of his career. He did have a previous match with WWE. Why not go ahead and bring him in? The third guy will probably be Cena, who they keep on riding off and on, or maybe Goldberg as another guy. You know, he hasn't done anything in a while. And my last guy, I'll go with Roderick Strong. He's not doing much in NXT. He's been there for a while. He looks to get called up soon. He's been consistently in the title picture. Why not move him up?
All right, I'll just stop you there. You pretty much had like 10 seconds left, but you got them all out pretty quick. Okay, 5 people, 5 surprises.
Can I just...
You know, I thought of somebody you didn't say. And I doubt that Ethan's going to say him either. But now that I think about it, it's not going to be a surprise. So, I'm not expecting...
You can say it after Ethan goes. I want to give Ethan a chance.
Oh, I am. I just don't... It's not a surprise for me. But yeah, a minute, go.
Okay. I think they're going to at least call up some of Sanity. Just because of filler spots that they would need to fill. I think, like I said before, for the Women's Rumble, there might pull in Rousey, Ronda Rousey. I think that Taker might return at the Rumble. Just because it's kind of, the 25th anniversary is kind of close to the Rumble time. He might announce it there. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Possibly Punk. Probably not, but he doesn't seem to be doing anything in MMA right now, and his MMA career is dying. And then maybe Lars Sullivan, because he seems pretty relevant right now.
Okay.
So yeah.
Time. See, the person I was thinking, but then I'm like, well, I don't think anything's been signed yet, but I'm pretty sure, everybody knows he's going to be there. Ricochet.
I could see it. I could also see Omega, since his contract's up at Wrestle Kingdom.
Is it?
That's interesting.
Yeah, he signed a 1-year extension.
That would be cool. I would like to see Kenny Omega over.
I don't think he signed, but I think it's still possible.
They could have Jericho versus Kenny too at Mania.
I think we forgot a big one. I think they could also pull the trigger on Bryan coming back to the ring at the Royal Rumble.
Oh yeah.
That would be awesome.
I mean, they might be scared to do it, but they definitely could.
Well, from what Lillian said, I think it was Lynn Garcia that said that they look to be clearing Bryan.
I think it was Bree that was on her podcast, and she said that they were close to clearing him.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, this was...
That was a fun little opener.
That was. Well, this is For the Love of Wrestling podcast, episode 1. We'll be doing these every Wednesday if we can. And yeah, so we'll see you guys next week. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment on this video. If there's something you guys want to have done on our podcast, please, by all means, go ahead and do it. Follow us on Instagram at fortheloveof.wrestling. We have our Facebook group, which is getting pretty popular. It is in the channel by the banner. So if you click on that, you'll be directed to our Facebook group. With that being said, everyone have an awesome day, and we'll catch you later.